What's going on, DFS Army people? It's showdown breakdown time. Thursday night football. Seahawks at the Bears. An exciting game, a fun one. Some all-in plays on the board, and I think this one has some sneaky upside. With me to break it down, two-time Millie Maker winner, Bobbywow, aka Bobby 2 times. Got to get the millions, get the millions. Coming off the big Christmas Day bonanza in the Wow household.
I'm still trying to get my composure here after just such a crazy day yesterday, but awesomely crazy.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. But here we are in the middle of the 12 days of footballicus, where football just keeps coming at you. Left, right, up, down. Saturday, yeah. Sunday, sure. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day. Just football.
It's so awesome. So beautiful.
You know what's wild? Well, I didn't even know NBA is still going right now because I'm so football obsessed. Look at what here we go. Look at what Jay Moore did in NBA last night.
Wow. Oh my God. He got the top two.
The top two. I've never even seen it. Like, this is so unusual. So I want to big shout out to Jay Moore, 3903, first and second, first place, second place, fifth place, helmets everywhere.
Look at that top score. It is way up. You never see that.
Destroyed
way above.
He smashed the comp. Suck it, SaberSim. Suck it, ETR, or whoever else is right below there.
Merry Christmas to them too.
Yeah, they were on point yesterday with the projections. Even, we had other members take down the mini max and just crush across the board, just rolling with the projection model here at DFS Army. The most accurate projections across the board. All sports measured by the comp. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And we have a 2-game. So yeah, again, Jay Moore, that is an accomplishment to end all accomplishments. Great stuff. Yeah, I was out hunting drones last night. Didn't find any.
Were you really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With my kids. We made an activity of it.
You get a gun for Christmas for them? Like
Christmas No. We're in New York here. You can't. You have to keep the guns.
A BB gun.
It's like, no. You shoot your eye out with that thing.
That's true. Good point.
You'll shoot your eye out. You got to keep them in the, yeah. So the big news for this slate is two things, really, right? One is no Kenny Walker. So we got another Charbonnet bonanza. That's cool, right? The other thing is the return of, and I want to talk to you about this, the return of Roschon Johnson and how that might affect he's kind of cheap, and he was playing a bit before he got hurt. Like, he was kind of 50-50ing it at that point with Swift. So we have that. And then, of course, a home team game with Bobbywow to break it down for us. What's better than
home team game? And you know what? Playoff implications on the line here for the Seahawks. It's a must-win game for them. Otherwise, they're gone.
Yeah. So is there any weather concerns in Chicago that we have to concern ourselves with at all for tonight?
A little chilly, little foggy right now, but it should be cleared up by the time the game starts. So no, it should be great football weather tonight.
Yeah, that's nothing. So, all right, let's get into the matchups here and jump into the slate. We had a big game. We're coming off a big game for Keenan Allen, and he seems to do like he's that guy on Chicago right now. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I love their pass catchers. I don't know why they all seem to do well. I think it's because Chicago doesn't do much with the run, so it's like all the scoring seems to come, all the moving of the football seems to come via the pass.
They're always behind. They're always behind chasing, right? So that's part of it too.
Yeah, they seem to always be behind. Let's take a look here real quick at the power rankings model for tonight's game. All right, so actually nothing really projects that great for Chicago if we're using these metrics as our guideline. Let me zoom in a little bit, but it's dangerous to zoom during a live feed. But Seattle 255 passing yards. Chicago's not really projecting well anywhere. 105 rushing yards, 189 passing yards. It's very low.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, but it's the Bears, so
I think Seattle's
not
better.
Not a total shock.
Let me see if I can. I'm going to get the numbers behind the numbers here because actually I'm a little surprised by that as well. So let's see what the story is defensively with Seattle. And let's see. Defensive. No, neutral. Seattle is league neutral defense. So that's just kind of.
And I'll say this too, I don't know that this matters a ton, but I'm sure it's on his mind. Caleb Williams is within striking distance of the Bears' all-time passing record for passing yards in a season. So if he averages 285 yards these next 2 games, he becomes the Bears' all-time passing yards leader in a season. So I think that's a legitimate.
Quarterbacks have the Bears had.
I'm telling you, man. Welcome to my life. Welcome.
What the hell? Kind of crappy quarterbacks if this season from Caleb is a record breaker?
Could be.
That's crazy.
Gotta pass Eric.
But they're not running. Let's look at the offensive metrics for the Bears thus far. And it's not that relevant. It doesn't matter that much, but like the Bears should be kind of low on this list. Yeah. Offensive rating really low. Yeah. I mean, offensive rushing and offensive is terrible. So horrible. They're basically 25 yards. They're just really one of the, it's funny. Even at minus 25 average, meaning they're below average passing offense, they still are hitting a record, which is crazy.
It's been a lot. And, it's part of why the wide receivers are scoring well is because it's been a very quick and close passing game where you got these guys like DJ and Keenan Allen running very short routes and intermediate routes. So that it's a very kind of dink and dunk down the field, but they're getting tons of targets, tons of catches. Yeah. And so they are scoring well.
Yeah. And what I like is you kind of know where the ball is going with the Bears a little bit. They do tend to throw. I think it's Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Odunze, big play guy, but also really having that rookie not doing that great stuff going on for him. And then a little bit of Cole Kmet mixed in. And they really don't do much with the running backs. So, yeah, I mean, take a look at these numbers. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, over 90% snap counts, with Odunze just bringing up the rear at 83. So they are in 3 wide almost all the time, right? Cole Kmet, 90% with almost no snaps for any other tight ends. It does look like, I guess, Roshan played last week. He was also healthy last week.
He did play last week. Okay. Yeah, last week was his first week back.
Yeah, so Roshan, expect him to increase his workload a smidge here. But they just don't really throw to their running backs all that much.
They don't, and they don't really throw to Roshan ever. Roshan's role is the goal line role. If the Bears get the ball at the 1 or 2, it's Roshan that's going to come in and smash into the end zone and not DeAndre Swift. So that's where he would excel in a matchup like this. If the Bears can get down to the goal line, that's where Roshan scores and becomes, viable.
Yeah, I would just, I think you can comfortably ignore Swift on the slate for the most part.
I don't know how they go that far.
I don't mean,
yeah, he's struggled.
He's not making my handcrafted lineup that I'm putting on screen in a few minutes from now is what I'm telling you. He'll mix in, but not much.
Probably not in a single entry. No, I'm not going there. No. Handcrafted,
no, absolutely not. So that, and we know where the ball's going. Now, in terms of target percentages, yeah, look at this. It's so predictable. It's becoming almost predictable. Like Moore and Keenan Allen are splitting the WR1 role at this point, with each of them on the season over 20%. But Rome Odunze is not bringing the lead so far behind in terms of target numbers. He just doesn't catch as many of them.
He's a deeper guy. And I think they're figuring out how to get him involved. Last week, again, you saw it, 4th down, Caleb threw a long pass to Rome, kind of like almost a back shoulder jump ball. And, you see the chemistry is there. He caught it. Big catch, a lot of chemistry between those two. It just hasn't connected just yet. But Rome is a really intriguing tournament play.
Yeah, and in terms of this question here, Jake P, I don't think so. I don't think they care about what they have in Colin Johnson. I think they've got backup coaches in there, people who want to win games.
Even Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen came out and said it. It's important. The name on the back of the jersey is what matters here. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to play as hard as I can.
Yeah, these guys are still going to play, but you would think they should try to feature Rome a little bit more, because I'm not even sure Keenan Allen, is he signed for next year?
No.
Yes, he's probably not back with. Actually, he's
I
not.
think he's going to be back. I do think he's going to be back.
Yeah. It's not a lot.
But
it's not a lot.
He's,
you don't know.
Again, he's auditioning for his next role, whether it be here or somewhere else.
Yeah, but he still has NFL talent left in him, so he's breaking the odds with the age.
And again, they can play spoiler. I think that's the key here. The Bears can play spoiler to the Seahawks, and that means something to the guys in the locker room. Yeah. So I don't think we see that game this week. No.
And one last thing, Cole Kmet, 10% target count on the year, 5% last week, 10% on the year. He's out there all the time. 5 to 10% target count on the season. There's no reason here. I mean, unless Seattle has some special thing going on against the tight end position, I don't see any reason why any of this is going to change. We have to expect the normal. Yeah, Cole Kmet is involved. He could get there. Lower chance. And the other pass catchers are probably a little bit better. All right, let's shift gears and focus on the Seahawks side of this one for a second. And the big news is, with Kenny Walker out, Zach Charbonnet back to the lead back role. He's going to get all the carries. Pretty much when this has happened, he's gotten massive volume. And the great part is there's no Charbonnet in there to vulture him on passing work. He's in there as well. That's his role. As a matter of fact, it's more likely they'll bring in one of these other turds, like a Kenny McIntosh guy, just to spell him on like between the tackles runs.
Yep, exactly.
They're not bringing in Kenny McIntosh to pass protect. I'm going to tell you right now. That's not what's going to happen. So Charbonnet will get all of the sexy work. I think he's the best play on the slate, Bobbywow.
Easily. Yeah, he's easily the best flex play on the slate. He's close to a lock. Close.
He's close to a flex lock and one of the better captains, I would say. Maybe the best captain. Although, those wide receivers can pass him. Yeah, those wide receivers can pass him. But he's as good as those guys, and he's cheaper. There's some dollar savings that you're getting. But
he's your cash captain. He's your automatic cash captain, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, he should be treated that way, Antoine, because that's what this is. You remember on the last slate we said like it's almost impossible not to play Jacobs as your lock button captain in every lineup. I'm not going to say it's quite like that, but
no, not that.
No, but the reason is simply because I like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, like in JSN. There are just other exciting captain plays that are viable here. This one. Oh, there we go. So what else here? At the tight end position, Noah Fant is back, kind of getting the primary role, but they still play with Seattle, AJ Barner, and even Farrow. Get a little bit of turd consideration there. So they're in my 150 mix. They're out there. They get a target here and there. Seattle's much more likely of a team to go double tight end and kind of play some snaps like that, and or roll out somebody who's not the primary tight end in that little goal line, out route, play action out route to the tight end position. So you could get a touchdown from one of those guys. Wide receiver. This is interesting. So it's obviously JSN, Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. They really barely give any snaps to anybody else. The only other guy that's getting snaps is Jake Bobo. And barely, right? He gets a couple snaps, maybe a target here and there. Tyler Lockett's barely getting looks right now. He is very cheap, Bobbywow.
Yeah, and I think this could be a game where Lockett could potentially pile up some catches. So I'm not going to say he's going to put up a massive score, but could be certainly viable on the flex against a Bears defense that really focuses their efforts on locking down, the best weapon, or the top weapon or two.
Who is that top weapon? Is it going to be?
That's what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think it probably depends on where what the Seattle Seahawks try to do offensively in terms of where people line up, because we saw it in the last game where they were moving Justin Jefferson around, or 2 games ago, to get away from Jalen Johnson. And so I think we probably see a similar story here, but I would imagine JSN is probably considered the big dog.
I feel like we think that, but that is not I think that the general consensus is that the big dog is Metcalf.
And you've got two guys on the Bears, right?
Yeah, I kind of think like
we're Gordon.
But you get what I'm saying? Like fantasy football players, we're all like, yeah, of course it's JSN. He's had a better fantasy year. I'm excited to start him. He's more expensive on DraftKings, but I'm not sure that like whoever the defensive people who are making these decisions are for the Bears think that way, or like I don't know that that's consensus around the league. I think consensus around the league is it's DK Metcalf and then everybody else. I don't know though. So
I don't know that matters. I think that the important thing to note is 2 legitimate cornerbacks for the Bears that are very good. The safeties suck. It's horrible. Oh, you could beat the Bears over the top all day. So deep ball, JSN on the deep ball,
or Metcalf is really the deep ball guy.
Or Metcalf.
Yeah, it's much more Metcalf.
And you can beat the Bears underneath too.
Yeah.
With Lockett. So I don't know that there's anything to glean from that, but I do think Lockett could be more viable than normal here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't have much plans to have any exposure to Lockett, but that might open things up, like at least an eyebrow raise for me for Lockett, and even Noah Fant. It's the same idea. It's literally the same concept.
Nothing crazy.
Throw it away from those guys.
This isn't a smash Tyler Lockett way heavy, but it's you should definitely have him in your player pool because this could be a game where he makes a little bit of sense.
For most of the season, he's been targeted, but like it just kind of slowed down and it's just gotten less and less as the season has worn on. But I think to me, the best play on the entire Seattle team is going to be Charbonnet. It's the best matchup too. This team does not stop the run that well. Seattle, where are you, Seattle?
Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no. Again, I'll say
Chicago.
Again.
You got to find Chicago, right?
Oh, so Chicago. That's right. I was like, wait, what am I having a brain? I didn't even.
Those numbers don't tell the whole story either. They're below average, but they've been the last 5-6 weeks they've been atrocious. So
yeah, they're showing just slightly below average, 9 extra yards per game, but to running backs, which is not crazy. It's negative. It's not good, but it's not crazy bad. All right. Domination stage. Let's take a look at the ownerships, Bobbywow, before we jump over to the I'm on FanDuel. I want DraftKings. Let's take a look at the ownerships though and get an idea of what the captain exposures are going to be, or somewhat of an idea of what they could be, unburdened by what has been. Okay. I have to keep saying it. I can't let it go.
I know.
I can't let it go. But it looks like Sharb's 15%, JSN right behind him at 13, and then Gino. All right, you guys do that. And then Caleb is there. Caleb, I can justify Caleb more than Gino as a captain. He probably runs a little bit more. Plus, they
definitely runs more.
And they also spread it very liberally to those 3 wide receivers, to the point where there is a version of, like, especially if Rome does anything and the other 2 guys get it done, where it's Caleb who outscores all of them. It would require a very liberal spread. I don't think it's necessary to play Caleb. I'm going to say, for me, you know how I feel. How do you feel about it? You know how I feel. If you guys have been watching this for a while, you know that I don't like playing pocket passers as captain. It's not to say they don't ever win. I just find that if I leave them out, then I'm usually shaving 25 to 30% of what the field is doing off. So it allows me to get higher exposures to non-captain. It does burn me. I'm not recommending it. It's not financial advice, Bobbywow.
No, not financial advice.
That's what I do.
It makes sense. I think with Geno Smith being so high, that to me is where you can get most of the leverage. Caleb can absolutely get there. He's had a couple of big games, and like you mentioned before, he spreads the football a lot. We could see, touchdown to DJ, touchdown to Keenan, Cole Kmet grabs one, and then, maybe dumps one off to Swift, and all of a sudden
we've seen a 29 pointer from Caleb where that was the highest. Yeah, where he was the highest, or he runs one in. Like, we have seen that, I think, twice this year, where he was the highest point scorer on his own team. So he could do it. He could do it.
Yeah, the O-line is garbage, but it has been all season.
After the quarterbacks, DJ Moore, great. Keenan Allen's right there. I don't really, like I said, I'm going to not play personally. I'm just going to tell you this too. I'm not playing Swift as a captain at all. I'm just not going to do that. And if it burns me, I'll take my lumps.
Yep.
I'm just going to take the lumps, Bobby. That's it. Take those lumps.
Take them. Yep.
I'm not playing that. But Keenan Allen, yes, I think Odunze is fine. And then I don't see any need to go deeper than that at all. That's going to be it for me. I will stop there. What about you? You like get some Cole Kmet in there? Is there anybody else beyond the Rome Odunze price point below here, or ownership level, let's call it, where you're like, yeah, I could play him?
Cole Kmet would be the one guy that fits the bill for me. And it's so unfortunate. The Bears have yet to really consistently get him involved, but he's had some games where he gets double-digit targets and he has, multiple touchdown upside. Yeah. Just haven't seen it as much this season. So I will, in 150 lineups, if I'm making 150, I'll have Cole Kmet as captain in a couple of them. But that's about it.
Dixon Sider bringing up bad memories here. The dude that punched him in the face was just a random O-lineman who was not even a starter. That's number one. And the Jets actually cut Geno because they thought any quarterback that took a punch from an offensive lineman or a D-line, whatever it was, that is not enough of a leader. And they said that's just not leadership qualities. But meanwhile, Geno's a better quarterback than anyone the Jets have had since him. So he ain't even that good, but do with that what you will. No Swift, unless it's Taylor.
Look, I think Swift. I do in tournaments on 150. I do think Swift is viable, but the problem is the bad offensive line actually hurts Swift a lot more than Caleb. Caleb is able to kind of maneuver out of things, and if you watch him, he runs for his life all day, but he can make it happen. Whereas Swift gets really hurt, by an O-line that just can't block and push. So it's tough. It's tough to see him getting there, but it's possible. Yeah.
They also don't throw it to Swift. They also are going to bring in Roshan at the goal line. And so it's like a combination of disaster things.
He's giving you a lot of reasons not to play him, no doubt.
Yeah. I'm looking at the flex ownership. I normally don't spend too much time on the flex ownerships, but quarterbacks where they should be. Sharps way too low. I'm telling you guys, Sharps needs to be pretty close to fully owned here. So am I saying it too much? Am I overemphasizing this point, Bobbywow? Should I stop?
No, I'm not, he's not a lock button for me, but I think it's worth getting 60%, 70% Sharps here. I'll have in the flex. I won't have him at captain, but I'll have
you will not have Sharps at the captain. You're just fading the highest one captain.
In tournaments, I'm not. Yeah, no way. Not a chance. He's 15+%, but I will have 60 to 70% in the flex. No doubt. No doubt about that.
Got to play the Sharps. Play the Sharps.
Play the Sharp. Play the Sharp.
Yeah, got to play the Sharps. Play the Sharps. I'm playing him as captain too. I think Sharp is a great play.
Look at the props projection. He's got the best prop projection of anybody on the whole slate.
He's projecting better. Yeah, he's actually
far away.
He's projecting better than everyone, guys.
Yes.
That doesn't mean so. Projection is a mean score, and a running back is going to have a higher score than a wide receiver in a similar spot. But the wide receiver can outscore the running back. So you're right. It's probably more likely it's Keenan or DJ Moore or even Metcalf or it's probably a pass catcher. But Sharps is the safest play. If I'm not playing him as captain, he's in my flex. I think I'm 100%. I think I'm going all in on this. I think I'm doing the all in. I need a graphic for all in when I call an all in. I'm all in, and I want to smash something and something happens.
It's got to be like a poker thing. You're pushing.
Yeah, I want something to come up on the screen when I say I'm all in. I'm all in. That would be cool. That would increase the overall production quality of these shows if we had that. I have to have a chat with the producer. We're talking rounders. I can talk some.
There you go.
The chat is getting crazy.
Yep, there you go.
You should have paid me on that hand. Give this man his money.
Yes.
This is my club. All right. Anyway, sorry. That's my impersonation of John Malkovich impersonating a Russian.
So good.
My Russian impersonation is completely different because Malkovich has no idea how to do a Russian accent, but the Malkovich accent itself is its own thing. Fuck you. All right. I totally lost my place because the Rounders thing just messed me up.
I know, I can't stop thinking of that.
I'm just rolling through it in my head.
Give that man his money.
Give that man his money. This is my club. All right. Where were we? Okay, so with to the backdrop of everything that we just said, are there any turds? Are there any turds in this slate that are viable? Let me just roll to the bottom and kind of work our way up. Viable turd, yeah, Bobo. No, right? Barely. Backup tight end for Seattle, AJ Barner. I think it's Roshan. I think Roshan's the best turd here.
He's a viable turd. Yeah, he's not as cheap as I would have liked him to be, but he's certainly viable.
Are you surprised that Kenny McIntosh is getting 17% ownership projection?
I'm not, no, because look, Sharps isn't going to play every single snap. So, and let's be honest, Charbonnet doesn't have the best bill of health either. So I think that makes total sense to me. You should
definitely. So McIntosh
150, you should absolutely have some McIntosh in your lineups.
I would do McIntosh without Sharps. I'm not going to play them together. I'll allow it for the injury. I love having me some injury protection. It's like a put on a stock. It's like buy the put. Little injury protection. If Sharp goes out, all of a sudden Kenny McIntosh comes in and gets the 12 and probably gets you the nut from that position. I think if I'm going to play him, I'm playing him without Charbonnet, especially because I was going to be pretty close to all in on Sharps. So maybe that 5 or 6% I leave over, I'll just push Kenny Mack in there.
To me, he's the best turd on the slate. He's slightly better than Roshan.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's surprising for me. Yeah, but that's about it. I don't think we need to delve in that price range. I like the kickers. Again, with no win conditions to really worry about here. Myers is one of those kickers that's kind of a weapon. He's like a weapon level kicker. Got Noah Fant at 3,600. How about him?
Certainly in play.
Yeah, I like Noah Fant there too. All right. And then I think DK Metcalf is like grossly overpriced, as some of these guys are just a little grossly overpriced. So whatever. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you can. So I started making a lineup before here, and I was able to get DJ Moore and Keenan Allen in there with Caleb.
At captain? Oh, okay.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
with Sharps captain, basically my first build was this. Sharps captain, a little double stack with Caleb, which is like the stack that tends to work. Caleb with these two. And then kicker, and then you go to like a Roshan or a Kenny McIntosh type.
Yeah.
That's what I had as my first look lineup.
Yeah, I think you're giving too much stock to Roshan here.
Too much to Roshan?
That's my concern.
I mean, there's not much else.
Especially if you're putting Caleb, Keenan, and DJ in that lineup, because Roshan's fully negatively correlated with.
Yeah, he'd kind of be vulturing those guys. I guess it'd be McIntosh, but I don't really want to play him at all. Like, I'm not excited about that.
You could play Barner, you could play Bobo, but this is more of a tournament lineup. You really
feels
don't feel great here, or no. Get Myers out of there and
let's see how this looks with. All right, have a Noah Fant. Oh, well,
and Kmet
double tight ended.
That feels better to me.
You like this one a little better?
I think Cole Kmet is the best value play on the slate. If I'm going below kickers, it's Cole Kmet.
Let's put this one in. I'm going to go with it. Because this gives me a real player at every single position. And I like that. This gives me a real starter with real potential at every position. Let's do a second one, though, here. I want to see what a lineup looks like with a wide receiver up top. So if you had to choose a Bears wide receiver that is the best for you, Moore or Keenan Allen? Or Rome?
I mean, Keenan Allen's got the hot hand, so it's tough not to say Keenan.
All right, so we roll with Keenan.
DJ Moore to me is the safest.
We'll just roll. Do you play them both together here?
You could.
Let's put Charbonnet in there. Always Charbs. See, this approach, this is why I like Sharp as the captain the most. Because the minute you don't do that and you play Keenan Allen or DJ Moore, you're pretty much going to lock yourself out of, at least, I don't mind it, but like it'll lock Caleb Williams out of this lineup potential. And it pretty much locks JSN and Metcalf out of contention here as well. You get none of that.
Which again is possible, right? We talked about the Bears passing game, a lot of short yardage passes, a lot of quick hitters to Keenan and DJ. So, it's a lot of PPR for them. And we've seen weeks where DJ and Keenan have both been in the mid-20s, which I think gets both of them there for sure.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, look, I'm going to get stuck on the same combo here of like double tight ends. I don't even like this tight end that much. Oh, Tyler Lockett. How about that? Okay. And that gets you back in the Caleb.
You got Caleb.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Tyler Lockett, who we didn't mention. Actually, that's that guy. We're going to, in order to play,
I do like Lockett against the Bears defense in this role. I do.
He's also priced correctly now. It's not like you're paying $7K like the Rome Odunze price. Yeah, I get it. He gets less targets. But according to Bobbywow, the top two corners for the Bears are really, really good. Therefore, maybe the WR3 is the guy that is the soft target in this one. Yeah, Lockett's slow, but he's also 3,600. Again, at that price, we're comparing him and Noah Fant and Cole Kmet. Like, all right, one of those guys who, I don't know.
We're not locking Lockett, but we do like him quite a bit more than, your typical week.
Yeah. Any defense interest here? Bears defense in play? I say yes.
I think both defenses are in play. I hate playing them. I won't have much, but
yeah, you could just play the defense too, just random.
Like I'm probably not playing Seahawks defense in that one.
Get weird with it. Everybody's saying he's a zombie, but I don't know. He's just old, man. Can't hate on the elderly. Let's take a look at what FanDuel is looking like as I take a moment to load FanDuel on my screen here. Oh, why didn't you do that before? That would be someone who is well prepared, which is not me. So I am getting that loaded up. No, you're not going to get to see my codes and my passwords. Do it on the other screen. Nice try, Dixon Sider. He's trying to see that password. It's Dixon. It's always Dixon. Monday night, single game, Thursday night football. Let's take a look. And right off the bat, the most important thing about FanDuel to understand is that FanDuel rewards quarterbacks and running backs above all else. We don't really have where's Sharps? Oh, look at that. Look at that, Bobby. 11K Sharp.
I don't lock him on DraftKings, but he's probably a lock on FanDuel.
In your lineup, 100%. Every lineup. Yes. Does it have to be the captain? No. Should it be the cap? Maybe. But here's how I would build this one right off the bat. We start with Caleb. We throw in Sharby. What are they making the salaries easier on purpose on FanDuel right now? This is ridiculous. Like you don't have to have any turds once again. Actually, I'm going to play this one now because this is ridiculous. Last time they did this, we just easily cashed in a $55 lineup. It was so easy. From here, 11K left. Oh, DJ Moore, you giving him away? Fine. Play a kicker.
Rome is deep, man. Wow.
Get Gino in there. I mean, come on. You don't have to play Swift. So you play both quarterbacks. You play Sharps, a kicker, a wide receiver that you like. You don't like DJ Moore? You like Keenan Allen? Can we get there? Let me see. Yep. Oh, almost. Right.
You just pop down from Myers to.
Yeah. If you like Keenan Allen, you got to switch to Cairo.
Yep.
You got Cole Kmet there, touchdown score. FanDuel dropped the ball here. Made the salaries too easy. the salary guy at FanDuel. It's Christmas week. He's not even at the office this week.
What's the McIntosh price? I'm just curious.
You don't need to know what that price is. Yeah. Oh, wow. Not even Stone Mint. It's $7K.
Here's the thing about McIntosh. When Sharps got the start, right? When he got the start of week 14, this guy still had 9 touches, including a couple of catches. Like, he's going to be involved. This isn't like a 95% snap count for Sharps. This is probably gonna be more like a 75-25 or 80-20.
You're right.
He
did
was
get
involved.
some targets. Yeah, he's gotten some targets. You're right.
Week 14 against Arizona, that was the week. 9 touches, didn't do much with them, but that is certainly worthy volume to be considered on this slate. Both sides.
Yeah. This is exactly what it is. Packers shut the Sharps run. Packers shut the whole damn team down, but the Packers are good. The Bears are not shutting anybody down.
Yeah.
That's not who the Bears are. The Packers are a team that's going, like, the Packers are competing for the Super Bowl this year. Are they the favorite? No. But they're a team that's in that mix. We're going to find out this week, by the way, about the Packers. Like, this is the week we're going to find out.
We're going to find out more about the Vikings than we will the Packers this week.
We're finding out something about someone.
Fraudulent.
Something about
Vikings
someone.
Are frauds.
By the way, I'm just going to give a spoiler alert here. I've begun, and I've got half of my Sunday sheet done, Bobbywow. There are only really 2 games of interest out of the 9. And then, like, the Bills. It's just 2 games. It's a really interesting Sunday slate. I say this because for everybody who's out there who's asking where the first look was, there was no first look. Too many sports. Too many games. Couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Couldn't get there. But yeah, I'd say you're right. McIntosh, fine, playable as a turd here. You don't even have to go there. You don't have to go there.
I think that's much more. But I think it's viable here.
What you just showed me made me much more interested in him on DraftKings, to be honest, even still, than FanDuel. FanDuel, though, the one thing that's happened before on these slates that look just like this, the last time we had one, it was a turd that was in the winning lineup.
Yep.
So it did, I believe it was a tight end, but like one of the cheaper tight ends that caught a touchdown in that game was the $10,000 mix. So you have this sort of baseline thing that you could do here on FanDuel this week, which is just play all the good names on these 2 teams that score a lot, and then leave that. There it is. Antoine's right. You leave salary, and you could pluck a Noah Fant or a Rome Odunze. It could easily be Odunze. That is like that guy, or Cole Kmet at 8K.
Kmet at 8K is too cheap. Yep.
Yeah, that no one wants to play because FanDuel is going to reward the touchdown above like 5 receptions, 50 yards. So like if Kmet gets 3 catches for 40 and a touchdown, he will surpass maybe some of these other guys that don't get a touchdown who work with the salary better. This is a 0 salary remaining. Yeah. John Marquis says all roads lead to Rome.
Yeah. Look, I think, if I'm looking at captains, I think Rome might be my favorite tournament captain here as someone to try and get a little more unique on. Love all the Bears wide receivers, and don't sleep on the Seahawks either. We haven't talked much about Geno. More comfortable to play on FanDuel, but this is a game where Geno, could get some deep passes over the top, and we know that Seahawks kind of tend to get pass happy more than they do run happy, which would bode well for Geno. And if in terms of punts or in terms of value plays, the guys I'll be way overweight on both sites: Cole Kmet, Tyler Lockett, and McIntosh. I think you want to be above the field on those 3 guys. And
I was sure you were coming in here to pitch Roshan, so like my whole world has changed today.
He's viable. Look, he's scored touchdowns. The problem is, he doesn't get much run outside of that unless Swift gets hurt. So again, last week 75-25 split. That's what we kind of expect here.
By the way, I wasn't even saying you should have done that. I was just like, I was expecting it. So then when it didn't happen, I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's different. Cool. All right. So that's awesome. Yeah, this should be a fun one tonight. Reminder, there are 3 games on Saturday. It's a tough one Saturday, by the way. I'll start diving into that one.
It's fun. I like the Saturday slate. I really do.
There's some problems with the running backs that we'll get into.
Makes it fun though.
Yeah, it is fun, but there are some issues there. Some unclear situations as of right now. I can't remember what they were, but like there's some definite issues at running back for Saturday. And then the Sunday slate, amazing. So we will be breaking all of that down here on the DFS Army YouTube channel on Friday. Bobbywow and I are working triple overtime to bring all of this content on such a crazy week to everybody. The player props tool has been fired. Not just the props tool, but the props team has been on fire, but also the prop-based projection model that we have going now on the domination station. You mentioned it before. It's so key. You gotta be using this, guys. You could really see it tells the story. Even when the projections don't, it will tell you the story. It's telling you play Zach. You know, it actually prefers JSN to DJ Moore, which is interesting by a lot.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. He's
definitely
prefers JSN
way better than Keenan too.
Let's see where DK Metcalf falls in this mix. Where the hell is Metcalf? There he is. Yeah, so Metcalf not so good. So the props greatly favor Jackson Smith and Jigba. Again, do with that what you will. Certainly more than DK Metcalf. Like the same price Metcalf and kind of Keenan Allen, I would say. Keenan Allen's got
JSN profiles is the best wide receiver prop wise on the slate.
Which one?
JSN, more than Keenan Allen, more than Moore.
Yeah. So, and that's right. Sniper and Will Lynn have been firing the props team. So make sure you guys are checking that out. While you still have access, VIPs are still able to follow along with those guys and make a decision if you want to kind of sub for their picks and Proptimizer subscription here at DFS Army. You're going to have to sub for that starting January 1st. So I advise you guys to follow along and see if you like it while it's still there for free. Any Showdown optimizer strategy for this one? It's not really Code Reds. Like there's not that much here that I'm going to adjust. I told you already. I think if I'm playing a wide receiver as captain, I'm strongly considering their quarterback in the flex. I don't really play quarterbacks as captains, but if I did, I would be having two of their players in the flex at the very least.
Yep. And I mentioned I'll be going overweight on Komet, Lockett, and McIntosh in the flex and Rome at captain. So those will be my optimizer adjustments.
This is also a situation where I'd be pretty comfortable not playing two defenses together. So I don't think you need both defenses in the same lineup. So you can make a rule to avoid that. That's something I would do. Yeah, it definitely. So Jason's asking who will the top corner be on, DK or JSN. We talked about this up front. Jason, it's really unclear.
It's unclear.
Yeah. What do you think, Bobby?
I just think, it kind of depends on where Seattle lines up. And we've seen teams over the last couple of weeks line up intentionally to avoid Jalen Johnson. And, it worked out for Justin Jefferson a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think it's clear. Just know that, the Bears have solid cornerbacks.
The answer is yes.
Their safeties stink. Their safeties stink.
He'll be on one. He'll be on the other. In the end of the day, we don't know. Just play them. That's what it is. We don't know. It switches. NFL games. Yeah, they're shadow corners, but like when you look at a team like Seattle, there's no WR1 here to shadow.
JJ's not going to shadow. No.
Yeah, or he'll just be on the outside. They'll put DK there. I feel like JSN operates more out of the slot than DK would.
Yeah, we'll see. I think both guys can beat the Bears over the top easily. So that's my concern with the Bears defense.
And that's the role that's what DK Metcalf does. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe don't get too crazy with this. Know that both of those guys have big upside.
Yep.
They're probably going to be throwing a lot.
I will say this. I'm more comfortable playing Moore and Keenan Allen together than I am JSN and DK Metcalf. I think Moore and Allen, like if we're looking at playing the top two wide receivers for either team, I think Moore and Allen, have the volume where it makes sense. Whereas JSN and DK Metcalf, it will be tough for them to both end up in the optimal lineup here. So that might be something I would consider on the optimizer as well, as kind of if, JSN is in there, maybe decrease percentage of DK Metcalf by a certain amount or vice versa. That
sounds doable actually. Or something like where only if Geno Smith is in the lineup could
There
you
you
ever
go.
have those two, or something
That's another way to do it.
along those lines. Not that that's going to come up so much, but that would kind of be it, guys. Guys, do us a favor. Just hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here so you'll be notified when we are going live. I know sometimes our time, I want to apologize to everybody. We're not always, we try to set these times, but it is Christmas week right now and everybody's crazy and all over the place. So we're trying to make sure we're hitting these videos at the time we're trying to put them out. And of course, like I said, we'll have 2 for tomorrow, usually the usual times, but it's a lot to cover. So make sure you got that notification bell rung. You got the subscription bell going. If you enjoy what we're doing, great. We appreciate it. Let us know who your favorite captains are for this week. Who you taking going out on a limb on with your favorite turd for this slate. And we're going to be back and better than ever tomorrow, breaking it all down as well. For DFS Army subscribers, we will be in the Discord, of course, talking game. And if there's any inactives, we'll be updating you guys as that comes. Yeah, everybody was hanging out in the chat. It was great. We had an early start, and the chat was going for hours here. So it's kind of fun. It's like a little secondary DFS Army happening here in the on the YouTube channel. So I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. For Bobbywow, gotta get the millions, and myself, we'll see you guys next time. Helmets up, everyone.